Humanity had received countless signals from the stars over the centuries, but none as bold or menacing as this. The Galactic Empire, an interstellar colossus spanning thousands of systems, had made its declaration. Their emissary, a towering figure clad in shimmering armor, appeared on every human screen with a chilling ultimatum: surrender Earth or face annihilation. Their fleets were already en route, vast armadas of starships casting shadows over their conquered worlds. The Empire's envoy did not mince words. You are insignificant, your technology primitive, your species fragile. We offer you the mercy of assimilation. Reject this and Earth will burn. The choice is yours. His voice reverberated with cold finality, as if this were not a threat but a foregone conclusion. Humanity's leaders gathered in an emergency summit, their faces lit by the holographic projection of the Empire's demands. Fear rippled through the room as each advisor whispered grim predictions. But one voice rose above the chaos, calm, deliberate, and laced with defiance. Commander Alyssa Stone, known for her unyielding resolve, stood, her gaze unflinching. They think they know us, she said, her tone a quiet challenge. They see our wars, our struggles, and our scars and think we're weak. But they've forgotten one thing. Humanity thrives in the face of impossible odds. The council fell silent. Stone leaned forward, her voice growing sharper. We've endured ice ages, plagues, and catastrophes that could have wiped us out. We've built civilizations on the bones of disasters. And now they think a fleet in the sky will break us? They're wrong. A message was crafted in response. Short, confident, and entirely human. It wasn't a plea or an apology. It was a challenge. To the Galactic Empire, the transmission began. We acknowledge your message. And we have one question. Is that all you've got? The words echoed across the stars, bouncing from one relay to another until they reached the Emperor himself. His reaction was instantaneous: outrage and incredulity. How dare a species so insignificant mock the might of his empire? Orders were given, and the full force of the Imperial fleet was directed toward Earth. As the Empire's warships crossed the void, humanity prepared. But not with fear. Earth's leaders activated plans forged in the shadows, strategies born not of desperation but determination. Secret research projects buried beneath mountain ranges came alive. Advanced AI systems, long kept under wraps, were awakened. Fleets of drones and orbital defenses moved into position, their sleek forms gleaming under the light of distant stars. But beyond the machines, it was the people who embodied Earth's greatest strength. Scientists worked tirelessly to enhance existing technologies. Engineers toiled over experimental weapons, and soldiers drilled with a resolve that bordered on zeal. Civilians contributed too, in ways both small and large, coding, fabricating, even planting victory gardens as symbols of defiance. The message spread quickly among Earth's populace. We've faced extinction before. We didn't just survive, we thrived. Let them come. It wasn't bravado. It was a simple truth. Humanity had never been stronger than when its back was against the wall. When the Empire's fleet finally appeared on the edge of the solar system, their warships glinting like malevolent stars, they found not a species cowering in fear, but a world united, ready, and defiant. The Galactic Empire's fleet breached the solar system like a storm, their ships forming an unbroken wall of destruction. Each vessel, a masterpiece of imperial engineering, carried the scars of countless conquests. The lead dreadnought, a colossal construct bristling with weaponry, moved with deliberate menace toward Earth. It was not just an invasion. It was a spectacle of power meant to terrify any who dared oppose them. From the Empire's command bridge, High Admiral Vaylor observed the human planet with disdain. Primitive, he muttered, watching Earth's defenses take shape on his holographic display. The fleets of drones, orbital cannons, and missile platforms were a curious sight, but they were mere toys compared to the Empire's arsenal. He raised his hand. Crush them. The first barrage came without warning. A wave of energy beams and plasma cannons rained down on Earth's orbital defenses, tearing through satellites and unmanned outposts. It was a calculated move, meant to show the Empire's dominance before delivering the final blow. Yet, for all their precision, the destruction felt hollow. Earth's response was not panicked or erratic but methodical, as if humanity had expected this exact move. The Empire's ships encountered something they had never faced before: adaptability. The orbital platforms began to shift, their targeting systems recalibrating faster than anticipated. Small human fighters, deceptively fragile in appearance, moved in unpredictable patterns, striking weak points in the Empire's fleet with uncanny accuracy. It wasn't long before the Empire's first frigate faltered, its engines flickering before it disintegrated into a fiery cascade. Admiral Vaylor leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "They're probing us," he realized aloud. The humans were not reacting blindly. They were studying, testing, learning with every second of the battle. What followed was chaos for the Empire. Their comms were flooded with reports of malfunctions. Shields that should have been impenetrable were failing sporadically, leaving ships vulnerable to concentrated attacks. Human hackers had infiltrated their systems, sowing confusion among even their most secure networks. Then came the guerrilla strikes. Fleets of cloaked human vessels appeared out of nowhere, ambushing isolated Imperial ships and disappearing before retaliation could follow. The Empire's commanders, accustomed to battles of overwhelming force, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. It wasn't just technology or tactics. It was sheer ingenuity. The humans used the Empire's arrogance against them, turning what should have been their greatest strength into a fatal flaw. Vaylor watched in disbelief as a squadron of human fighters deliberately lured one of their capital ships into a debris field. The ship's shields, calibrated for large-scale attacks, were no match for the thousands of tiny impacts, and the vessel exploded in a brilliant flash. The Emperor's voice crackled over Vaylor's comms. "Why is Earth still standing?" he demanded, his tone cold and unforgiving. "You assured me of swift victory." Vaylor clenched his fists, his frustration mounting. "They're different," he admitted reluctantly. "This isn't resistance. It's a trap. They're baiting us, drawing us deeper." The Emperor's silence was more damning than any reprimand. Vaylor turned back to the battle, his mind racing. He ordered the fleet to consolidate, to form an impenetrable formation. But even as the Empire regrouped, humanity unleashed its next surprise. A surge of energy erupted from Earth's orbit, disrupting every Imperial sensor. When the blinding light faded, the Empire's fleet was met with a sight they had not expected. A massive, impossibly advanced starship, unlike anything in their databanks. Its design was sleek, almost organic, with glowing energy veins pulsating across its hull. The ship moved with a grace that defied physics, weaving through the Empire's ranks with precision. Its weapons weren't projectiles or beams but bursts of energy that seemed to dismantle Imperial ships on a molecular level. Vaylor could only watch as the heart of his fleet crumbled before this unknown power. For the first time in his career, the High Admiral felt fear. The humans had not just defied the Empire, they had outthought them at every turn. And now, they had revealed a weapon that could tip the scales of power in the galaxy forever. "What are they?" Vaylor whispered, his voice trembling. No one on his bridge had an answer. The Imperial fleet, once the pride of the galaxy, now lay scattered across Earth's orbit, its ranks broken and its commanders scrambling for answers. The mysterious human warship dominated the battlefield, its every move calculated, its every strike devastating. Its presence alone was enough to shift the tone of the conflict from assured victory to desperate survival. Admiral Vaylor, standing amidst the chaos of his command bridge, issued frantic orders. "Target the anomaly. Bring it down." Every weapon in the fleet turned toward the massive human vessel, unleashing a torrent of firepower that could have reduced entire planets to rubble. But the ship didn't evade. It didn't need to. A shimmering shield absorbed the attacks, refracting the energy harmlessly into space. Then, with an almost dismissive precision, it retaliated. Beams of pulsating light lanced out, not simply destroying Imperial ships but dismantling them, leaving nothing but fragments drifting in the void. The Empire's ships that remained functional retreated, forming tighter defensive clusters. Yet, this played directly into humanity's hands. Smaller human fighters, previously elusive, now swarmed these formations, exploiting every weakness. The Empire's famed discipline faltered as panic set in. Crews abandoned posts, officers barked conflicting orders, and even seasoned veterans began to question the invincibility of their fleet. From Earth's surface, humanity's representatives observed the battle with grim satisfaction. Commander Alyssa Stone's voice was steady as she coordinated the next phase. Focus on containment. Push them back but leave them a way out. We're not here to annihilate. We're here to send a message. The strategy was clear. Humanity didn't just want to win. They wanted the galaxy to understand that Earth was no easy prey. Every move was deliberate. Every action designed to leave an impression on the survivors who would carry tales of this battle back to the Empire's heart. In a last-ditch effort, Valor activated the Empire's superweapon, a planet-destroying cannon aboard his flagship. Its activation was a declaration of desperation, a gamble to salvage what remained of their pride. As the cannon charged, its energy readings spiked across the battlefield. The human warship, however, didn't flinch. Instead, it surged forward, a blur of light and power. The Empire's remaining ships moved to intercept, but they were too slow, too disorganized. The human vessel closed the distance with terrifying speed, unleashing a concentrated burst of energy that pierced through the flagship's shields. The impact wasn't a simple explosion. It was surgical. The cannon's charging sequence destabilized, and the weapon imploded in a cascade of energy, consuming the flagship in a violent burst that lit the void. The battlefield fell silent. The remnants of the Empire's fleet, leaderless and broken, began to retreat. Valor's final transmission echoed across their comms. Fall back. Regroup. We've underestimated them. It was an understatement, one that would haunt the Empire for decades. Humanity didn't pursue. Instead, they allowed the survivors to escape, ensuring their story would be told. As the last Imperial ship vanished into the void, Earth sent one final transmission to the galaxy. We are not conquerors, but we will never be conquered. Let this be a lesson to all who would threaten us. Humanity stands united, and we will always rise. The message rippled across the stars, reaching allies and enemies alike. The galaxy, long accustomed to the Empire's domination, now had a beacon of hope. Humanity's victory wasn't just a triumph for Earth. It was a rallying cry for the oppressed, a reminder that even the mightiest empires could fall when faced with ingenuity, unity, and unyielding resolve. As Earth celebrated its victory, the galaxy watched in awe and apprehension. The name humanity now carried a weight it never had before. A force to be respected, a force to be feared.